Hey everyone, and welcome to Mrs. Ross Does Math. Today's lesson is for Math 7, and our topic is Lesson 15, Probabilities and Data Displays. Now, we are at the halfway point for this unit, so you will have a quiz next week. So at any point in time, please feel free to watch videos 12 through 15. That is what your quiz will be on, and that will be there to help support you when you take it. Remember, you can also use any of the notes that we've done so far throughout this unit. So let's go ahead and get this going. Once again, our topic is Lesson 15. We are looking at probabilities and data displays. Okay. So remember, we have two different types of probability. We have theoretical probability and we have experimental probability. We are going to be working with both types in this lesson. So our essential question, how can I create and interpret pie graphs and histograms? So that is going to be our focus here. Let's get it started. So our first vocab word is that of a pie chart. Now, you guys have seen pie charts for several years on and off, okay? So a pie chart is a chart that shows information as sectors or slices of a circle. Now, each pie chart or each circle has 360 degrees. Now, that 360 degrees is really where we take your history of working with pie charts and we take it to another level, because we are going to be having to find out how much of a pie chart, say, a third is. Well, we'd set up a proportion and we'll solve from there. Now, ultimately, a third of a pie chart would be 120 degrees, because a third of 360 is 120. We will do more of that in just a moment. Now, let's get this going. So, our first example in this is going to deal with one of my favorite things, but I really can't have it very often, and that is ice cream. Okay? So, Jordan interviewed 26 classmates to determine their favorite ice cream. 12 prefer chocolate peanut butter, that happens to be my husband's favorite. 10 preferred mint chocolate chip, my favorite. And then 4 preferred strawberry. My task for you, and something that we're going to do together, is to create a pie chart to display this data. Okay? So, we do have a couple of steps that will help kind of guide us as we go through and create these pie charts. Our first step is that we're going to create a ratio for each piece of information. Now, our pieces of information happen to be flavors of ice cream and classmates. So we're going to take the flavor choice and we're going to set that over the number of students in the class, which was 26. Okay. Step 2, we're going to create a proportion to find the number. Remember, the hashtag symbol, or is what I know it as, is £. That's our shortcut for number. So create a proportion to find the number of degrees in the pie chart. And our last step is we're going to draw the pie chart. Now, typically, if we were doing this in class, each one of you would have what's called a compass. Now, that would help us create a very accurate amount of degrees. In addition to the compass, we'd also be using a protractor, which is ultimately what I would prefer we use, but the compass will help us at least create the circle. Okay, so here we go. So keeping these 3 steps in mind, we are going to go ahead and begin by answering this question. Now, remember, step 1 was for us to create a probability of our flavor to students. Now, Jordan interviewed his classmates, and there were 26 total classmates. Now, I'm using chocolate PB for my chocolate peanut butter. 12 of his classmates chose chocolate peanut butter out of 26, so I have 12 out of 26. Next, mint chocolate chip, or mint CC. 10 of his classmates out of 26 chose our mint chocolate chip. And 4 chose strawberry out of 26. Okay. Now our step 2 is we're going to create a proportion for each one of these, and we're going to solve it to find the number of degrees that we will need to have in our pie chart. Okay. So here, my proportion is going to be the number of students who chose that flavor over the total number of students in the class, and that is going to equals to x, the number of degrees that flavor represents, in our total pie chart, which is 360 degrees. So once again, this is flavor over total students equals flavor over total degrees. Okay? So let's get this going. Now, we are first going to begin by cross-multiplying, and when we do that, I'm going to get 12 times 360, and I'm going to set that equals to 26 times x. Now, 12 times 360 is going to go ahead and give us 4,320. And that's going to equals to 26x. Now I'm going to divide by 26 on both sides, leaving me with x is equals to 166. Now I happen to get 166.153846. However, I want to round this to the nearest amount of degrees, so I'm just going to leave it as 166. And now because x was our number of degrees, I'm going to add a degrees notation to that, and that's just the little bubble right up top. Now I'm going to do the same thing for mint chocolate chip. So mint chocolate chip was 10 out of 26 students. And what do you think the other part of our ratio is going to be, or our proportion is going to be? In this case, it once again is going to be 10 over 26 is equals to x over 360. So I'm going to go 10 times 360, and I'm going to set that equals to 26 times x. So 10 times 360, that happens to be 3,600, and that's going to equals to 26x. Now I'm going to divide by 26 on both sides, giving me, do my calculations here as well. When I do that, I happen to get 138.4 degrees. Now, once again, we're going to round here, so I'm going to stick that as 138. So 138 degrees is equals to x. Now, the last one that we have to do is strawberry. And that, once again, was 4 out of 26 students like strawberry. And that's going to once again equals to x over 360. So I'm going to go 4 times 360 equals 26 times x. We know that 26 times x is 26x, but 4 times 360 is going to go ahead and give us 1440, or 1,440. Now we're going to divide by 26 on both sides. And when we do that, we get 55.38. So we're just going to leave it as 55 degrees equals x. Now, what we're going to do from here is we are going to have to create our pie chart. Now, if we had those protractors with us in class, we would complete full measurements of these degrees. What I'm going to need you guys to do is do this to the best of your ability. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coffee cup here, and I'm sorry, you're going to see my coffee cup for a sec, or the remnants of my coffee cup. And I am going to go ahead and draw a circle on my paper, or at least my attempt of a circle. That did not work out very well for me because of the pen that I'm using and the coffee cup, and I'm doing this at a weird angle. So once again, this is really why we like using our compasses in class. They give us a really nice circle, so we're just going to ignore all of that, okay? Once again, just do the best of your abilities. Now, using our protractors, if we had it, we would be able to see that 166 degrees, 180 degrees is half of a circle. So 166 degrees is going to be a little bit less, it'll be about here. So when we talk about our pie chart, okay, this would be our chocolate peanut butter. Once again, my chocolate peanut butter. And I got a dog hair on there too. Okay, so that'd be my chocolate peanut butter, and this is 166 degrees. Now, we also have 55 degrees. Now, 55 degrees is going to be a little about here. Okay? 90 degrees would be straight up and down. It's not quite there. So, I'm going to state that this right here is my strawberry. And that is my 55 degrees. Now that's going to leave me with my mint chocolate chip, and that's going to be here in this remainder. So my mint chocolate chip, and that is 138 degrees. Now because, once again, these drawings are approximate, it is going to be really critical for you guys to make sure that you are doing, one, the best that you can on this, and I will take that into account as I'm grading this, and two, that you make sure that you label the portions of your pie chart. Okay, so please, please, please make sure that you're going to do that. All right? So, what we're going to do next is I'm going to get you guys started with number 1 on your assignment. You only have 3 questions on your assignment, which means you are going to be doing 2 and 3 on your own. Okay? So, please pause this video if you need to rewatch a portion of it. I am here to help any way I can. All right? So, this is our assignment. It says Lesson 15, Math 7, Probabilities and Data Displays. Now, please, please, please make sure that you put both your first and last name on both pages. Okay, I'm still getting pages turned in where the first and last names are not even on them, and I cannot give credit where credit's due if you don't put your name on it. Okay, so please, please, please do that. This is for class period 2, and I am recording on 5/18/2020. Okay, so I'm going to do that on both my pages before I get going. Okay, so got my name on both pages, and here we are. So, once again, at the top it says, for our instructions, answer each question to the best of your ability. Use the notes provided, and be sure to also watch our video, this one here, in YouTube. Just search Mrs. Ross Does Math. There we go. So, let's take a look here. Number 1 says, Mariah randomly polled 100 students. Okay? She asked who they planned to vote for as class president. The results are in the pie chart below. 30 students said that they would vote for Nigel, 20 for Juan, and 50 for Maria. We want to know what is the probability of Juan. Well, let's see here. In our pie chart, it tells us that 20 people said that they would vote for Juan. So I'm going to write the 20 people. Now, that is going to be out of the 100 students that were polled. So I'm going to put the 100 underneath. We now need to simplify this, because once again, when we talk about probability, we talk about a reduced fraction. So I'm going to begin by dropping off the zeros off each. That's going to leave me with 2 out of 10. And I still need to simplify this once more, because it's not as small as it can go. 2 can go into 2 one time, and 2 can go into 10 5 times. So the probability that someone would vote for Juan is going to be 1/5. Next, I'm moving on to Maria. Now Maria, 50 students said that they would vote for her out of 100 students polled. So I'm going to go 50 over 100. Now I'm going to reduce that to be 5 over 10, and I'm going to reduce that once more to get 1/2. So that means that the probability of Maria getting a vote is approximately 1 out of every 2 students. Lastly is Nigel. Nigel had 30 students say that they would vote for him out of 100 polled. I'm going to drop those zeros again, giving me 3 out of 10. And that happens to be the smallest I can make this, because there is no other number that both 3 and 10 have in common besides 1. Now, let's say for part D that there are 400 students voting. we want to predict how many would vote for Maria. What we're going to do is we're going to take our probability of Maria in the poll, so 1/2, and we're going to set that equals to X votes over 400. Now, once again, I'm setting this to X votes over 400 because this is the number of people who said that they would, which was 50, out of the 100 polled. So, said they would out of total students. Now, once again, we're using the total students on the bottom and the who could, or in this case, who would vote for her up top. Now, I'm going to cross multiply both sides, giving me 1 times 400 is going to be equals to 2 times X. I'm going to get 400 equals 2X. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides, giving me 200 is equals to X. Now, once again, because this is a word problem, we need to put words in our answer. So we're going to state, I predict 200 students will vote for Maria. Okay, because again, here it says predict how many students, so I predict 200 students would vote for Maria. Now, in numbers 2 and 3, please do the best that you can. If you need help, please reach out. I want to help you any way I can. Thank you so very much for watching. This has been Mrs. Ross Does Math.